everyone. In this video we'll see the solutions for GATE CS 2021 paper. So let us start with the first question. The ratio of boys to girls in a class is 7:3. Among the options below, an acceptable value for the total number of students in the class is. So here given that the ratio of boys to girls, that means the ratio is given as 7:3. That means if we take a random variable, then total number of boys in the class is considered as 7x and total number of girls is considered as 3x. So if you take the ratio of this 7x by 3x, then obviously you will get 7:3. Now the total number of boys to girls in the class is considered as 7x plus 3x. That means is equal to 10x. So the total number of students in the class is definitely the multiple of 10. So from the answers we will get 50 is the option, right option for this one, because 50 is the multiple of 10. So we'll move to the next question. Dash is to surgery as writer is to dash. Which one of the following options maintains a similar logic relation in the above sentence? So for this type of questions we will consider the options first. From the options we will solve the question. So first we need to take the first option, that is plan outline. Plan is to surgery as writer is to outline. So here there is no relation between plan to surgery, or there is no relation between outline to writer. So this is the wrong option. Next, coming to the next one. Hospital is to surgery as writer is to library. Here a little bit relation is there between hospital to surgery and writer to library. But from the question, which one of the following option maintains a similar logic relation, similar logical relation? So here hospital is to surgery as writer is to library. Here the logical relationship is missed. So that's why this is also wrong answer. Next, doctor is to surgery as writer is to book. So this is the right answer, because doctor is a person which is to surgery, means doctors will do surgeries, as writer is to write a book. So here doctors will do the surgeries and writers will write the books. So option C is the correct answer. Next question. Consider the following sentences. First point, everybody in the class is prepared for the exam. Second option, Babu invited Danish to his home because he enjoys playing chess. Which of the following is the correct observation about the above two sentences? Means from the above two sentences, which is the correct one? Everybody in the class is prepared for the exam. So from the options, option 1 is either grammatically correct or grammatically incorrect. So here everybody in the class is prepared for the exam. So the sentence formation is correct. That means the first option is grammatically correct. So here we will eliminate option 2 and option D. So option B is grammatically incorrect and option D is grammatically incorrect. So we will eliminate this one, because everybody in the class is prepared for the exam, that is grammatically correct one. So now coming to the second one. Babu invited Danish to his home because he enjoys playing chess. So here the sentence is ambiguous one. Why? Because Danish invited Babu invited Danish to his home because he enjoys playing chess. That means here Babu is enjoying playing chess, but Danish is not. That means the invitation, the purpose of invitation is not clear here. So the sentence is ambiguous. The sentence is ambiguous. So the first option is grammatically correct and second option is ambiguous one. So the right answer is C. C is the right answer here. Next. So here is a question. We have two rectangular sheet of papers, M and N. So M is one paper and N is another paper, of dimensions 6 centimeter by 1 centimeter each. So M is 6 centimeter by 1 centimeter and N is also 6 centimeter by 1 centimeter length. Sheet M is rolled to form an open cylinder by bringing the short edges of the sheet together. So sheet M is of 6 by 1 size, is rolled to form an open cylinder. So it is to form a open cylinder, and sheet N is cut into equal square patches and assembled to form the largest possible closed cube. So here sheet M is used to form a cylinder and sheet N is used to form a cube, right? So from the question we observe that assuming the ends of the cylinder are closed, means in both sheet M and sheet N, both the ends of the cylinder are closed. Now we will find the ratio of the volume of the cylinder to the volume of the cube. Means we need to find the volume of a cylinder by the volume of cube. So we will find this one to solve this question. So we will see what is the volume of the cylinder here and what is the volume of the cube here. We will see. So from the question given that the two sheets having the dimensions of 6 centimeters each, right? That is 6 by 1. Now we will find the volume of the cylinder. Formula is pi r square h. Pi r square h. This is the volume of the cylinder formula. Here h is the height and r is the radius. So now we will find what is the h and what is r here. So from the given question, h is equal to 1 and we don't know what is the value of r. So for finding the value of r, we will find the circumference of the cylinder. So the circumference of the cylinder formula is 2 pi r, and from the given question the dimension is 6 centimeters. So 2 pi r is equal to 6. Now from this the r value is 6 by 2 pi, that is equal to 3 by pi. So 3 by pi. Now we have the value of r and the value of h here. Now substitute the r value and h value in volume of cylinder formula. So what is the volume of cylinder formula? So we have the volume of cylinder formula as pi r square h. So here pi value and r value is 3 by pi whole square and h is equal to 1. So now this is by solving this one we will get the value as 9 by pi. Now we have the value of cylinder. Volume of cylinder is 9 by pi. Now we will find what is the volume of cube. So from the given question, the second sheet, that means n is rolled into a cube of length means size 1, means equal square patches. That means the size equal sized patches, that is 1 centimeter each. So the volume of cube formula is, what is the volume of cube formula? If side of a cube is a, then volume of the cube is a cube. So here the value of a is 1 centimeter each, because equally square patches means equally cut into cube. So the side of a is equal to 1. Now the volume of cube is 1 cube. And we have the volume of cylinder, that is 9 by pi. So the ratio of volume of cylinder by volume of cube is equal to 9 by pi whole by volume of cube, that is 1. So the value is 9 by pi. So option 3 is the right answer for this question. Option 3 is the right answer. Next. There are 5 bags each containing identical sets of 10 distinct chocolates. So here given that 5 bags are the total number of bags is equal to 5, and the chocolates are distinct, that is total number of chocolates are 10, and those 10 chocolates are distinct chocolates in 5 different bags. One chocolate is picked from each bag, so we will pick one chocolate from each bag. We have 5 bags are there. Then we need to find out the probability that at least 2 chocolates are identical. So we will find the probability at least 2 chocolates are identical. So how we will find this one mean? By using the formula, that is 1 minus, here at least 2 chocolates are identical, that means at least 2 means 2 chocolates or 3 chocolates or 4 chocolates or 5 chocolates, like that. So for that we will find 1 minus all are distinct chocolates. So by using this formula we will find what is the probability that at least 2 chocolates are identical. So for this we will find like this. To find this one we will use like this, 1 minus all are distinct. So all are distinct mean first 10 chocolates are distinct, that means total number of chocolates are 10, from that 10 chocolates are distinct. So like this we will find. So first case is over. Next, from total number of 10 chocolates, 9 chocolates are distinct, like that 8 chocolates are distinct, and 7 chocolates are distinct, and 6 chocolates are distinct. So by calculating this one we will get 1 minus 30,240 by 1 lakh. So we will get the value of 0.6976. So option C is the right answer for this question. Next, here is a data interpretation question. So observe the question clearly. So first read the question completely, next solve one by one. So here the question is details of prices of 2 items. So here we have 2 items are there, P and Q are presented in the below table. The ratio of cost of item P to cost of item Q. So here cost of P is given but cost of Q is not given, but from the given question the ratio of cost of item P to cost of item Q is 3:4. Discount is calculated as difference between market price and the selling price. The profit percentage is calculated as the ratio of difference between selling price and cost to the cost percentage, profit percentage is equal to, this is the formula, selling price minus cost by cost into 100. Now we will find what is the discount on item Q as a percentage of its market price. So we will find what is the discount given on the item Q. So for this we will start with given ratio. So what is the ratio given here? 3:4. Now we will find the cost of, so we will find the cost of Q. So to find this cost of Q we will find take the cost of P value. So here it is already given. So we have the formula, that is profit percentage equal to selling price minus cost by total cost into 100, and we will have another formula is there, that is cost of P is equal to Cp of P is equal to, so we have the ratio 3 times 3 is to 4. 3 is representing the cost of P and 4 represents cost of Q. So here we will find C by total cost, that is 7 into total cost of P and Q. So total cost of P and Q. So from this we will find what is the total cost of P and Q, because from the table the value of the cost of P value is given. So by substituting this we will get the total cost of P and Q as 5400 into 3 by 7. Then by solving this we will get the value of total cost of P and Q. So what is the total cost of P and Q? So 5400 into 7 by 3, that is equal to 12600. So now by using this total cost of P and Q and the ratio 3 is to 4, we will find what is the cost of Q here. So by using the formula, the cost of Q is 4 by 7 into total cost of P and Q. What is the total cost of P and Q? 12,600. This is already calculated in the above step. So here by calculating this one, we will get the cost of Q value as 7,200. So now we have the value of Q, that is 7,200. Now the next step we will find what is the profit percentage. So selling price minus cost by cost into 100. This is the given formula. So we will find what is the selling price, means selling price of, here is the cost price is there. Now we need to find what is the selling price of Q. So for selling price of Q, the formula is cost price into 1 plus profit percentage. So from the table the profit percentage is given 25. So 25 by 100, that is 0.25. And cost price of Q we already calculated, that is 7,200. So substituting these values, 7,200 into 1 plus 0.25. So by solving this one, we will get the value of selling price of the Q value. So what is the selling price of Q value is 9,000. So now we have the selling price is there and the cost price is there. So by using this selling price and cost price, we will calculate what is the profit percentage, discount percentage. So the formula for discount percentage is market price minus selling price by market price. So by substituting the values, we will get the discount percentage of Q value. So discount percentage is market price minus selling price by market price into 100. So here the market price is 10,000 and we find the selling price of Q is 9,000 in the previous step. So by substituting these two values, we will get the 10,000 minus 9,000, that is 1,000 by market price is 10,000 into 100. So here we will get the value as 10%. So the discount percentage is 10%. Option C is right answer. So coming to the next question, given below are two statements 1 and 2 and two conclusions are given. So here statement 1 is all bacteria are microorganisms. Statement 2 is all pathogens are microorganisms. And two conclusions also given. Conclusion 1 is some pathogens are bacteria and conclusion 2 all pathogens are bacteria. Based on the above statements and conclusions, which one of the following option is logically correct? So, by observing these statements and conclusions, so if we draw the Venn diagrams from the two statements, we have 4 different cases are there. One is like this. So this is the first case. So microorganisms, within that bacteria, and in that bacteria we have pathogens. So we have 4 different cases are there. This is the first case, and second case, this is B, and this is B, and this is M, and the third case is M, this is P, and within that B. So here given question is all bacteria are microorganisms or all pathogens are microorganisms. So from these two statements we draw 4 different Venn diagrams, 4 different possibilities. So this is microorganisms and the intersection of bacteria and pathogens. So from these 4 cases, if you consider the conclusion, the 2 conclusions, if you consider the first one, some pathogens are bacteria, all pathogens are not bacteria. So if from the first case it will means the first case is conclusion 1 is true here, and the conclusion 2 is false here, because all pathogens are not bacteria, but here all the pathogens are bacteria. So this is violating the conclusion 2. And coming to the second one, here some pathogens are bacteria and all pathogens are not bacteria. So here conclusion 2 is satisfying, all pathogens are not bacteria, but when coming to the conclusion 1, some pathogens are bacteria, but that is violating here. And coming to the next one, here again all pathogens are not bacteria, but here all pathogens are bacteria and some pathogens are bacteria. So here the conclusion 1 is true and the conclusion 2 is violated. And coming to the last one, here means all the bacteria are microorganisms and all the pathogens are microorganisms, and there is a intersection between these pathogens and bacteria. So some part of the pathogens are bacteria, that is true here, and all pathogens are not bacteria, that is violated here. That means here either of conclusion 1 is correct or either of conclusion 2 is correct, but not both the conclusions are correct in any of the cases. So the option 3, either conclusion 1 or 2 is correct here. Next coming to the next question, some people suggest anti-obesity measures AOM such as displaying calorie information in restaurant menus. Such measures sidestep addressing the core problems that cause obesity, poverty and income inequality. Which one of the following statements summarizes the passage? So here the problems mentioned are obesity, poverty and income inequality. So but AOM are not addressing the main problems directly. Here the AOM is not directly mentioning its own problems. So it is a kind of side step taken to address the obesity. So AOMs are only addressing the problems superficially. So the option 4 is the correct option, because the AOMs are not really addressing the real problems which will occur by using the AOM. So here only addressing the obesity problem superficially. So option 4 is the right answer. Next question, suppose that L1 is a regular language and L2 is a context free language. Which one of the following language is not necessarily context free? So here given that L1 is a regular language and L2 is a context free language. So from the definitions, all the context free languages, CFL context free languages, are not closed under the complementation property. So from the given options, so option C is the right answer, because if the CFLs are not closed under the complementation property, so the complement of CFL also need not be the context free long base. So from the given options, the option C, L1 minus L2 is the right answer. Clear? So for further solutions for the further questions, please watch the next video. Thank you for watching.